ever fallen in love. I'm walking down the street the other day, and what? And I go, all right, Chris. Mm-hmm. And Steve from the Buzzcocks.
Oh, wow.
Steve Diggle.
Yeah, brilliant name.
Who I know. But anyway, let's bring in Nicky. Nicky's here. Look at this. Good morning, Nicky.
Hey, Nicky, how are you? Nice to see you.
Are you a Buzzcocks fan, as in the band?
That song, first gig we did at the Railway Hotel in Crumlin. We played a cover version of that, which I played on a completely out of tune by a Telecaster, and it turned into a riot. Someone threw a glass.
Oh no!
And it was brilliant. It was absolute chaos. Absolute chaos. A brilliant gig. The Railway Hotel.
Wow.
30 years ago.
Oh man, don't. It's scary. Anyway, just saying. So yeah, I'm walking down the street. I get, oi, Chris, oh mate. And Steve Diggle from the Buzzcocks, who I can't really remember how we met, but we met in a pub, and we became kind of drinking buddies. And I've not seen him for ages, and he's like, we got to go for a drink, mate. We got to go for a drink.
Nice.
I don't know why I made him a Cockney then for some bizarre reason.
All right. How was your Kit Kat, Nicky?
Delicious.
Was it?
Delicious.
You can't beat it this time of
I
morning,
have a
can you?
Kit Kat and Ovaltine in the morning.
Of course, absolutely. You're not playing games, are
You
you?
are living.
I
the
do
life.
love those Reese's Minis as well.
You do, don't you?
Amazing.
Well, Nicky, we've never met before, right?
I think we've done a couple of phoners way back in the
Right,
day.
but yeah,
I don't think we have met.
No. Well, listen, as we've got so much to catch up on from all these years, Merry Christmas, Nicky. That's for you.
Thank you,
You
sir.
can have your own advent calendar of Reese's Pieces.
I can make up on the ones we've missed on
Yeah,
the
you
way
can.
home.
You have a sugar rush by 9 o'clock if you woof them at 8.
Brilliant, thanks.
So how are you? How's the band?
Good, yeah. The boys are back in our studio in Wales, finishing off some mixes, and they've sent me up, Mr. Motormouth, to speak on their behalf.
Do you trust them, leaving them to it, or will you let them do it and then come back and when they're not looking, just go, let me have a listen, see what they did?
And the bass up.
No, turn the bass down. I'm more than happy. It's a good division of labour, do you know what I mean? Old school.
Yeah. So we were saying, it's how time flies. It's like you were just saying that gig, the railway. It doesn't feel that long ago, but you guys have been around, and I'd say this in a good way, ages.
Nearly 3 decades.
But is that scary?
It's unreal. I used to think you could get a grip on time when you're younger, and you can but now time has got a grip on me, and it just runs away. You just can't keep up with anything, can you?
No.
It's quite frightening.
But then at the same time, it's great because, working here at Radio X, and it's great because there's all these great bands that I was playing on the radio 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Are still making great stuff. And it's nice to have an outlet for it. And also, we're all a little bit older, and it's really interesting seeing bands still growing. I guess when you kind of think you know everything, like 10 years ago, you were at your peak. And it's 10 years ago.
I know.
Does that make sense?
No, I know exactly what you mean. It feels like a really good time to be in the band, Obviously, whether it's Nolan and Liam or the Phonics or, there's a lot of bands that we all grew up together, all of a sudden making really great music and being quite popular again.
Yeah.
Not that we dipped that much, but I think everyone's more grateful now. You kind of learn to enjoy it more when you're younger. It's all self-destruction and nihilism.
Yeah, and also I think because the game has changed so much, the music industry has changed. The buying records certainly changed.
Yeah.
However, to a certain degree, does it not kind of take the pressure off a little bit because chart success?
Yeah.
Was maybe not have been that personally important to you, but certainly the record label would have been like, we need some hits here, guys. What's the single? Whereas now, you're in a great position where you can go, we just want to make a bloody great album, get out and play it live, and then we'll have a few months off, and then we'll do it again.
Well, I was a real stato. I grew up on the Guinness Book of Hit Singles.
Right.
And we had 35 or 36 consecutive top 40 hits off the top of my head. And the first one that missed, I was absolutely gutted, devastated, like Morrissey was when that joke isn't funny anymore, didn't get in the top 40. But then, since then, like you said, you just think, it doesn't really matter so much now. There's more freedom just to do what you want.
And looking back, maybe that was a good thing because I would be exactly the same. I really would be this. You just go, why look at this? But it's a bloody great song. But now, it's I don't know what. So what's important for you? Just making a great album, a great track.
Just to get that little spine tingle between the three of us. When we actually write a song and then make it and listen to it back. As long as you get that goosebump moment, then that's what we trust to translate to fans and everyone else. The minute that goes, I think it's all over. But, as long as you get that moment where you actually still think there's some kind of relevance and some warmth and something that'll stimulate, then we're fine.
Do you ever think about the future in regards to the band and yourself? Like, could you possibly ever see yourself going, I think I'm done now?
Well, probably me more than Jim's and Sean, yeah.
Really?
But that's just, I've always been a bit like that. I've always been like 65 since I was 15. Waiting for, that's not the retirement age now, is it?
But what? Well,
it's
no.
80.
But what would you do? But what would you do? You'd be so institutionalized in what you do. Like, seriously, like, no offense, but it's just a genuine question.
Yeah.
What are your skills apart from what you do?
None.
No.
Absolutely none. But I do enjoy being bored.
Right.
Yeah. I think boredom's an essential part of life, which has been lost on younger generations.
Now, do you mean being bored or do you mean doing nothing?
Both.
Right.
Yeah. It's very true, actually. I've got 3 children, and there's no reason for them to be bored because they've got everything. They've got a tablet in their hand and whatever. Yeah, that's very true, actually.
I'm a big believer in boredom, that just cleansing the mind and moving forward from it. Periods of severe boredom are very healthy.
See, now I don't know about...
I get that, totally.
I get doing nothing.
Yeah.
But doing nothing, there's a great Jerry Seinfeld sketch about doing nothing. It's not as easy as it sounds. Because if you don't pay attention, you can find yourself doing something.
Yeah.
But I can't see you ever stopping.
To be honest, I love dressing up and putting makeup on too much. That's why I can't really do that wandering around the house with the kids and everything.
Well, you could, but to be honest, the kids are just rolling in their eyes, going, "Oh, for God's sakes, he's having the Kit Kats today." Obviously,
Yeah, he's on the Kit Kats.
you can tell.
Yeah.
He's doing the hair and the makeup. How many Kit Kats do you have today?
He's rummaging through Mum's drawer again,
Yeah.
picking out those dresses.
So, there is a new album.
Yes.
And there is a new single.
Yeah.
And there will be a tour.
Indeed, they will.
This is great news.
Yeah.
This is really good news. Talk to me. We're going to play the new single in a second. Tell me about the single. Tell me about the album. Tell me about being together and making that.
Well, it's been the longest gap ever between albums. It'll be 4 years in April.
Yeah.
Which we've been really prolific over 12 albums in 20 years, which is really, a lot of music. And we got kicked out of our studio in Cardiff. So we bought a place outside Newport and we converted that into the greatest garden shed in the world.
Nice.
Really kitted out well on the premise of making music there. So that's started to sound really good, and just through time and kids and families, it's taken a long time. But yeah, the single itself, International Blue, it was my 20th wedding anniversary. About 4 years ago, we went to Nice, and there's an artist called Yves Klein who was born in Nice, who I was a big fan of. And then I went there and connected the blue sky and the blue sea, and he trademarked a colour called International Blue.
Right.
So the lyrics started 4 years ago, and I finished it about 6 months ago.
Well, you're getting on a bit. You've got to... Listen, you can't be writing all the time, because when are you going to allow yourself to be bored?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, well, let's play it. This will be the new song. It is the new song from the forthcoming album. First single to be taken from it. This is Manic Street Preachers. This is International Blue. That is a great, great tune. That is a great tune, Nicky.
Yeah, we're really happy with it. We're kind of searching for a lead track, And that track brought the album together in a lot of ways, because the album is about, there's a lot of lyrics about other stuff that inspired us to make music in the first place, rather than the internalization of my darkened soul. We try to just look outward a bit more.
And the vocals sound great, but they sound a little bit different, or is it just me? I don't know. There
may be a bit of maturity in the old JDB's pipes.
Yeah, I guess, which is interesting, because the voice is. I guess the voice doesn't age, but can grow stronger.
His has. I mean, considering he's sometimes not the most healthy of lifestyles,
which is earned.
It is.
It's earned, isn't it?
Playing lead guitar and singing like he does, he deserves a night off.
And we were listening to this earlier this morning, we were saying he can get some high, there's some high range in there.
Range is incredible, isn't it?
He's still got the Freddie Mercury in him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
which is great when you're making a track, but when you're a bloke trying to sing along, it's painful.
Yeah, it's impossible. You look like an idiot. Yeah. Could you have a word, actually? Drop everything down a bit.
What's it been now for me? From all men, let me just say this on behalf of men everywhere. 20 years of trying to sing. You can't get there. You can't get there. And of course, even if you try and start lower, you can't get there. Will you please just just drop down a few keys for us men?
Yeah, I think, didn't Led Zeppelin do that when Robert Plant, when they reformed, they dropped down a few?
Oh, did they?
Yeah. The only trouble with that is I'd have to relearn all my bass parts, which I'm just not willing to do.
Yeah, get over it, man. Just learn to sing. Yeah. Stretch your vocal range.
But yeah, the boy can sing.
He really can sing.
Yes. It's something in I remember with James did a track with Tom Jones once, and they'd both been, brandy had been flowing and various other stuff. Next day they went in the studio and just ripped it apart.
Yeah, that's two powerful sets of voices.
Oh yeah, it was definitely a singing competition.
I bet that engineer was sitting there going, this is...
Where's the limiter?
Heaven and hell at the same time. So the single is International Blue, but the album's not going to come out till April.
No.
Which feels like ages away. You've had 4 years.
We're still finishing it. Now, we just got so many, what we class as singles. Right. I don't know what that means anymore. But for us, it's bursting with a kind of vitality, and we just hear all these records on radio. It's all come really naturally. The last 8 weeks, really, we've really gone into high octane kind of Manics overload and just old school late nights and just creativity. So it just feels like we've got to release a lot of tracks to get it out there.
And still, it's a question I'm asking a lot of people at the moment. Still fun?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah. The minute, fun is... sometimes it's good that it's not fun as well.
Yeah, I guess.
When we started, I remember... Well, James's tattoo is anxiety is freedom, and there is a level of panic and anxiety that we need to be at our best sometimes.
Yeah.
We do. It was all conflict and anger at the start, which is subsided, but it's still sort of deep within our soul.
And I would imagine there's a part of you who doesn't want to lose that.
Yeah.
Because that's part of the fuel that drives the machine for
It
you.
is. If you get too comfortable, then, you can hear it in the music, I think, whereas we still got it. It's more controlled than it used to be.
You're right. I might take that chocolate calendar back from you.
Yeah.
We need some angst in there.
Yeah.
Hey, you could write a song about and then, obviously, just after the album comes out, there will be the tour. Playing arenas around the UK.
Big old tour in April. Yeah.
Huge tour.
Yes. Just putting all the visuals together with that as well. I enjoy it because Kieran Evans, he's a film director, and he works with us a lot. He's like our Anton Corbijn.
Right.
And so it's really good. The visual presentation I find really exciting. A bit more than music, to be honest.
And so you'll go out on the 23rd, maybe do a couple of little gigs beforehand, some little tiny drop-in things.
Yes.
So the night, the 23rd of April, you'll be in Newcastle, at Newcastle Arena.
Yeah.
Will you be... emotion-wise, will that be a mixed bag? Would you be nervous before walking out onto the stage? Excited? A little bit of everything?
Yeah. James is probably the worst.
Really?
Yeah, which is bizarre considering how good he is.
It's hard when you're a vocalist, though, because
It is, yeah.
I guess with my limited experience, nerves and singing is not a great combination, because you just it's I don't know what I was about to say. It's like playing darts, trying to get certain but it's you get it slightly out.
Yeah. You're exposed as a singer.
You really are, yeah.
There's been periods when I've just put my bass down and skipped for a song, and no one's really noticed. But it is. Singing and drumming are the two things where people will go, oh,
Yeah.
But our warm-ups are hilarious because sometimes you're in festivals and you're next to a band and they've got all instruments in their room and a little kit and stuff like that. And James does, well, basically what you just did with Design for Life. That is his warm-up. Design, and that's it.
Right.
Sean sometimes has, you'll have a stick and maybe hit a sofa.
Right.
And I do absolutely nothing at all. And you go, all these people doing harmonies and all sorts of warming up.
But you know what? It really is. It's horses for courses. Everyone's different. Guy Garvey was in the other day from Elbow. I think Guy Garvey's warm-up is 2-3 drinks. I mean, I think...
He said they hadn't done a gig sober for 20 years or something like that.
And I think that's how I don't think he does any warm-ups. I don't think he does any vocals. But then there are other people who go, no, I have to. I've just got to...
Yeah.
But whatever works,
It's a different
generation,
I think.
But it's going to be great. The tour's going to be great. The album will be out in April. The tour then...
And the Coral are supporting us, so it's a very lovely night out because they are a beautiful band.
Out.
Yes.
Oh, look at that. Oh, thanks for that.
Warmth and stimulation in the same night.
Wow. Well, that's worth the ticket price alone.
Yeah.
Before they've even come on stage. What time does the stimulation start? Sorry. Listen, really nice to see you.
You too, sir.
And come back. Come back anytime.
We will.
Bring the boys back. The album will be April. When can we get the single? Can we get it now?
I think now, yeah. I think it's one of those things when it's all up and running.
Great. International Blues, the single Manic Street Preachers. Pre-order that album and get ready for April the 6th when it comes out next year. Send our love to the boys and have a lovely Christmas with the family.
Yeah. Hello, Mum. Mum was listening.
Hi, Mum.
Yes. Love you.
Is she tuned in to hear you, or is she a regular listener to Radio X?
Actually.
No, I love her.
She's my mum and dad. That's the one thing I've realised doing this album. How lucky I am to have lovely parents. It's bloody hard, isn't it, for some people?
Yeah. They still together?
Yes.
That's
in their
great,
80s.
man. Oh, that's great.
I'm going to take them fish and chips tomorrow.
Oh, look at you. Look at you. That's very sweet.
Indeed.
Well, listen, have a lovely... Give your mum and dad big kisses and Merry Christmas from us, and to you, the family, both your family in the house and your family in the studio.
Ah, lovely. Thank you.
And everybody get International Blue from Manic Street Preachers. Nicky Wire, thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
The Chris Moyles Show.
With priority from O2. Get VIP treatment at O2 venues.